Conversations with Different Sheet. Joining me today, a very impromptu conversation, Tammy Marie.
Hello.
So, today's episode is called
The lies we,
The Lies We Tell with Lip Gloss.
yes.
Yes. So, on today's episode, we'll be talking about how we fool ourselves or others on the outside like we're okay, battling internal things. So Tammy has the questions because, of course, this is very impromptu. We just left Cracker Barrel. I see a club. We got
Yeah,
our lip
you
gloss
get it.
on
hmm
for sure. Okay, so you're gonna start with one of the questions.
and I won't pick them in the exact order, so we'll start with this one. What's a silent sign that you're not doing well that others may miss?
A silent sign for me is definitely I'm in the house. I don't really want to be bothered. You know, I'm still because if you don't know me, I'm gonna do my coffee in the morning. I'm gonna
hmm
pick my fragrance. So everything on the outside looks like I'm good, right? But when I get home and take my lip gloss off, I'm just inward with myself, and that's just like a sign to me that like, what's going on, girl?
I'm the same. I'll go to work, I'll function all day, but when I get behind those closed doors and the lips gloss comes off, is when I have my moment, and I tend to withdraw. Like I'm not very social. I don't go anywhere. I don't talk to anyone, and I just go into that place. And many people don't get that because they're used to me being so active and social, but that's a clear sign for me that they don't recognize that I'm going back into that hole. It's like I close everybody off.
Yeah, and I kind of see it.
Yeah, she always knows out of the blue I will get a text or a message from her. Are you okay? And it's
Yeah,
so
I
odd
can
because
tell.
she's way in Birmingham. I'm in Huntsville.
Yeah, I can tell just
Right.
from your online presence, or it could be a text. I text you, and I can tell something is, and I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things where praying for a friend and God just
That
reveals to you,
connection.
like, you need to check on her. So, yeah, definitely can tell. So, that's definitely one sign for me. Just come inward with myself and, like,
hmm
don't want to be bothered.
When did you first realize you weren't okay, and how did you respond?
Um, like, recently,
hmm
I just was quiet and just had no real desire to do a lot of things and just was by myself. And so I was like, well, let me pray and say, like, God, like, for me, it's I can't stay in this moment very long. I don't want to be down. So, like, let me figure out, like, how am I going to get myself back up? You know,
And oops, dag nabbit.
tech,
Next question.
we had a technical difficulty because this is impromptu. So the question was,
When did you first realize that you weren't okay, and how did you respond?
okay, you go, because I
Okay,
use what I said.
okay. So for me, I could tell how certain conversations, certain songs made me want to just weep. Um, the last 3 years, everything I had to go through with my daughter, and you know everything, it really took a lot out of me financially, emotionally, mentally. And at 56, having to deal with this all by myself again, because I've spent the majority of my life dealing with everything by myself, taking care of people, fixing things. And every time I look around, there's no one there, or I feel there's no one there to pick me up, to hold me, to help me, to make me feel like it's going to be okay. And I take ownership that it's because I haven't allowed people in, or I haven't shared that with people so they would know. So I can't get angry with them. I have to own that people can't help what they don't know. And for me, the way that I was feeling let me know, I'm not okay. I'm smiling. I'm going through my day to day. But even right now, today as we speak, I'm not okay. But I own that, and I know that there's work I have to do internally so that I can be okay, so that I can really enjoy life. Because I cannot get to that place of peace and happiness with how I feel right now.
Yeah. Now I will say I never told you this, but like you are the first person to really show me what functioning depression looks like. Because had I not known you on a friend level, I would have never known. Because Tammy is the most bubbly person and make it happen kind of person for people. But because I know you and you shared with me, that you were depressed, this was years ago. But seeing you at work and stuff like that, you wouldn't have never known. So it kind of like normalized it for me how I was feeling like, okay, I understand how you can put on for other people outside and still have internal battles that nobody knows.
It's called masking,
Hmm.
and since a child, I've mastered it because in my mind always goes to, I'm a giver. I'm a
Definitely.
people person. My mind always goes to, but they need me more than I need me,
Yeah.
and so I shut that off. But when you go home in the quiet, in the club behind those closed
Yeah.
doors, is when it hits you. And who do you tell? Who would understand it? Because all they know of you is this person that you're the go-to, you're reliable, you're dependable. You pick them up, and they don't know how to help you.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just internalizing it and dealing with it, but understanding it's not helping me.
Hmm.
It's taking away my quality of life. It's taking away time I can't get back when I close myself off and I stay in the room and I won't. I'll give you an example. I had some really good friends invite me to some events last weekend, and I didn't go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything else. I just made up stuff I had to do, and I stayed at home
Hmm.
because I wanted to sit in my pain by myself. And I tell people all the time about sitting in it. I'm working to process, let go,
Right.
and forgive me
And
for
that's what I was
holding it
saying.
and,
Hmm.
and getting back to life and getting back to living.
Yeah. I had somebody, and I told you who it was, that shared with me that he feels like I always have it together and I don't let things bother me. I do. But I've conditioned myself that you can't have my whole day, you can't have my whole week,
Hmm.
you know. So I try to figure out, like, okay, I'm down in this moment, but I'm gonna fight the good fight to get it up. So I think for me, like some of the things that I'm doing, and even with this, starting the podcast, writing the book, starting the grief group, I'm pouring into myself because I felt like I had poured out so much that I was empty.
And
So
you do feel
yeah,
depleted.
I was depleted, and even sharing with people that I'm just exhausted emotionally and still getting nothing. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pour in myself, and then I won't have to rely on others. Even though you still, as a human, want to have a connection or somebody that's gonna constantly pour into you, and it's a vice versa thing. But for me right now, I had to pour into myself.
Yeah, and it's a process. And you said something. You started a grieving group.
Hmm.
And people think that grief only deals with death. No,
No,
you grieve
no,
relationships, you grieve
listen,
yourself, you grieve disappointments, you grieve failure,
yeah,
you grieve poor decisions you made, and it is a process.
yeah.
And you have to go through it to get whole.
Listen, let me
And
tell
so
you.
I'm learning that.
When I'm praying to God and like, trying to figure out purpose because I've struggled with that so long. Like, okay, God, I want to work in my purpose. Like, what is my purpose? I have these gifts and talents, but nothing. So when He gave me this grief support thing, I'm like, okay, I wrote the book, put the book out, and sat down, and I'm thinking, I did it. And then, the grief support group came and it's grown at church and stuff like that. But before then, God just really had me dealing with grief on so many levels. Friendships, relationships, I'm in a relationship and I'm thinking, this is it. We're gonna be together forever. And just like that, gone. So I had to go through that, grieve that relationship and the future that I thought I was gonna have. I had friends that just walked away. That was a grief process and that was hard. I'm learning grief on so many levels, like just even grieving the thought of what you think something should be and realizing it's not that.
Hmm. And being okay with
Yeah.
it. Because one thing I've learned through that process, um, if I don't have to take ownership of a lot of things, um, And if I know I've been sincere and I've been good to a person, and that's on any relationship, that's even family, how dare I allow you to take my peace by feeling guilty for telling you what I expect of you, for holding you accountable for how I allowed you to handle me. And that's a grief that comes at because when you're honest with people, the fear is the rejection from your honesty. And it happens. But understanding, grieving that, and being okay with I did my part. That's my truth. And I owe that to me more than I owe it to them. So let's see. How do you protect your peace without feeling selfish? This is a good one.
Now,
This is a good one.
off the top, let it be known, like I don't feel guilty at all for protecting my peace. I don't even care how it's taken. Like I'm not nasty. I will say like this ain't that. Yeah, no. It's a hard no. I'm not in the arguing season. I'm not going back and forth. I will hang up. I will block, and I won't attend or be around people because I've gone through so much. And at this big age,
Hmm.
I have to protect. I mean, what else do you have if you don't
But your
have
peace.
peace? So it's so important that we learn what protecting that peace looks like. For me, it's like I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm
No,
not. I don't really care if you're offended. That just say if you wanted to do something and it didn't align with where I am, it's just a no.
I'm not going. Yes, and we get so used to thinking, well, I have to oblige. I do not,
No,
and I've learned that, and I had an experience with a situation where someone
this
wanted
bun.
wanted something from me, and I said, you know what? No, and I had to be okay with, you know what? It's good to say no
That's good.
because you don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah.
They are an adult, and if they put themselves in a situation or they cause something on their own, I don't have to take ownership of that. And it's okay for me to say, you know what? No. Example, the book I wrote, Is It Me and My Drama? That's part of it. Talks about the drama we create and the drama we participate in and the drama we invite.
Hmm.
Every time they call, they woe is me. And, oh, I'm right there. You know what? You going through that, but guess what? I got stuff too, and
Yeah.
you got to fix you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And
Because
being okay with that.
when you spend time working on yourself,
How dare you give that up?
I'm not about to undo all of the things
Mm-mm,
that I
just
worked so
undo it.
hard. And
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a mother, my children are adults just like yours,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm in a season where it's just about me.
Exactly. And it's
So
okay to
I'm
be
not about
selfish.
to just undo all the things that I had to go through and work on and work through just for somebody else. No,
Yeah, and you have to.
no,
And being selfish is
no. The
okay.
power of no.
No, that's a big no. And
It's a
like you
big no.
said, this
No.
big age, no.
Yeah.
Um, what has helped you stay grounded lately with everything you've shared with me that you're dealing with, even in the small ways?
For me, I'm a very faithful person. So my relationship with God, um, I pray. I have my quiet time. I'm learning to be okay spending so much time with myself. It
Yes.
used to, I guess, because I got married young, I had children young, so I was conditioned to always be with somebody. So the children grow up and they move on, and I'm by myself, and I'm like, I ain't never really had to sit with myself.
It's an eye opener.
So now, like, I'm just like, ooh, I'm enjoying the me of it all. The me of all and discovering the things that I like just for me. So, it kind of keeps me. What about you?
My singing, my journaling, and I
Definitely.
go in on TikTok when I have those moments. That is my calm, and I'll sing for hours, and I'll record it. I'll never go live because I hate being tied to a live. I just People invite me all the time, but I don't like being tied to a live. But I know to grow my brand, I'm gonna have to. At some point, I'm gonna have to start doing it.
Yeah.
But for me, I sing, and I sing sometimes till I get hoarse, or I write. I write poetry. I write my journals. and I'm trying to finish my last book. It's called, no, it's not. It was called I Chose to Heal. But I always tell people that God built me different. And a gentleman told me, that's the title of your book.
Isn't it
God
funny
built
how the
me
book
different.
title changes?
Yeah.
You go in
Yeah. He
because
said, God built me
my
different.
book was totally called, what was it called, On the Other Side, because I felt like grief was a mountain and I felt like I was on the other side. So that's what it was called. But then when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, I want it to really be called Different and She. And it's called Navigating Grief's Journey. But
Hmm.
Ifra means happiness after sorrow. So it just,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. I
yeah,
never knew that.
it's
I
crazy.
always, you guys, let me tell you this real quick. Her name, the struggles of anybody who would see her name, I just never tried to say it. I just would be like,
Her.
her. Because it's IFRAJ.
Yeah. Hmm.
And you can mess it up. So
Yeah.
I just be
You
like
know
her.
what? The real
But I learned how to say it.
one of the connections we have is music.
Hmm.
Like you sing. I can't sing like she can sing.
She
I
loves
can
music.
sing by myself. But music, I feel like God speaks to me through
Yes,
music.
he does.
And I
It's my
have so
love
many
language.
revelations
Hmm.
through music. And this tattoo is an anchor, a cross, and
What
a
is that?
music note. Hmm. Yeah.
Hey, we got the same tattoo. I never even knew.
Yeah.
We have the same tattoo on the same side
Hmm.
behind our. That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Because
it,
like music just
it speaks
it
to me
it
when
it
I need
does.
to. When I
Yeah.
need
It
to.
takes me back to a place. So like if I heard a song 20 years ago and it moved me, if I hear that song again, it's gonna take me right back to that.
I'll give you Mother's Day. Around Mother's Day, I was feeling something. Getting my daughter back and getting her to a place of health and healing. And I thought about her and my son, and I thought about when I was in '88. I was in Germany. Cheryl Pepsi Riley came out with a song called "Thanks for My Child."
I remember that.
And I played it, and I sang. I actually sang it on a video and posted it. But that song took me back, because back then I really didn't understand. I just knew this was a young girl that had a baby and didn't have a baby's father. I hate to say baby daddy. Didn't have a
I
baby's
hate that
father,
one.
and I thought about everything I've done with my children, and that's another thing. I love my children, but I didn't create them alone, and I take accountability. I have allowed their fathers to let me be Superwoman.
Mm,
I have allowed them to let me take on the responsibility of fixing, of providing, and making sure they're okay because they didn't want to handle the emotional part of it or any other responsibility. And so now, no, I can't do it. Call your father.
hmm.
Talk to your dad. And like my son, when he went through what he went through, the hardest thing was for me to tell him, you can't stay here. And understanding you have a father, and guess what? It's his turn now.
Yeah, you gotta have
And
hard
and
lines, a
and
hard stop.
hmm
Like and even my son, even though he's doing well, but before he went to the military, he was like, "Well, I want to come home." And I'm like, "And do what?" You gotta have a plan. You're a
hmm
man.
yeah,
So again, the power. And I didn't say no to him about coming home, but it made him think like I gotta do something different.
that was yeah.
What we got next?
What does healing look like on a hard day?
Tears,
Yes,
tears,
releasing.
releasing. And sometimes they just start flowing, and you realize it's the end.
Hmm. I
It's the
just had
end.
that
You know what I'm
revelation.
saying? It's the end, or it's the beginning, and it's cleansing, and you kind of get it out sometimes, and then you're like, okay, what next? And that's where I am. Like, okay, I'm not staying in a low place.
I cannot. And I had that realization having a conversation with someone about past abuse as a child. And before talking about it, I would stop because it made me feel dirty, it made me feel sick. But I'm healed from that. And just to be able to talk about it and have no feelings,
Hmm.
but knowing that me talking about it is helping someone else that may not have a voice.
Hmm.
And I didn't feel a certain way about it. So I knew in that moment I was healed from that.
Right.
And it felt good. and it felt good. And even, we talking about earlier, we were talking about not having a person and being alone. I'm okay because I take to my mind that loneliness is a state of mind, but I'm at peace. I have my own place. I can go where I want.
Right.
I can be alone if I want, because wanting someone and then having them, that's a responsibility that I've honestly realized. Right now, I'm not ready for that because you have to be accountable to your actions with them, your words, and giving them a part of you. And right now, I need all of me for me.
Yeah,
So,
definitely, definitely. And that's what I'm saying. I'm in a season where pouring into me is so important. Even though, single, I do enjoy it. Do I want somebody that I'm connected to on a deeper level? I
mhm,
do, but I don't want half-assness.
mhm.
I don't want a part of something
The
that's not,
crumbs.
yeah, I don't want something that's not real and not ready for what I want. So I'm okay with just being by myself. I have a full life,
Mhm.
you know.
I realize that now, and I'm in a, my children are adults, so I'm doing all the things that I want to do, and I'm in my purpose, my speaking engagements,
You are
my leadership things, and being able to go and fulfill the dreams that I've had,
in the
and
over
in my
40 and over 50 TikToks.
yes, yes, oh, for yes,
Both of us.
yes, and and then to see more people of our age that are,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on here too. This
Hmm.
ain't just for young people. There are
Yeah.
people our age that want a voice
At
and who are
first,
coming
I
out.
kind of struggled
I
because I
did.
was like,
Am I too old
I
for
was
this?
cringe like out because I'm like, my kids, will they be embarrassed
Mhm.
and stuff like that? But they ain't never said nothing.
No, my kids know who I am, how I am. On a day I feel like I'm the baddest one in the room, then I post my pictures of my outfit, and I'm
Me
confident
too.
in
I'm gonna
who
do my
I
outfit
am
of the day.
because you see so many men and women who are not
Right.
confident, who are battling ageism and
Yeah.
thinking I'm too old. You're never too old.
Yeah.
As long as you got life in you and breath in your lungs, you keep living and you keep
Hmm.
loving. And I'm enjoying that part of life. I feel sexier at 56 than I did when I was 20 because I didn't know all that comes with it. It's a state of mind. It's how you speak. It's how you interact. And I own that.
Yeah. And I
And
will say, like, I'm just comfortable with who I am.
yes.
Like, I love me some April. I'm comfortable with
Hmm.
me. But, do I struggle sometimes with just like, and I think, you know, some things feel like a internal battle. I think sometimes it's just a spiritual battle. Like, you so much bigger and the enemy wants to shrink you. And you be like, no, you won't win today. You
And
won't.
it happens.
It
You have
does.
days it
It
happens.
does. So you have to, you know, take control of your mind and your way of thinking sometimes.
Breathe. We
Hmm.
forget to breathe.
You
Thursday I posted, and I call it Thirsty Thursdays. And it just
do.
when things hit me, I'll be late for work making a post.
I
And
see
I
you in the
thought
car.
about, yes, I thought about what are you thirsty for? What are you parched for?
Yeah.
What are you dehydrated from? And then what are you going to use to quench that thirst?
Hmm.
Palatable water, spring water, Gatorade, or you going to go for the stuff that destroys your kidneys? And that's, in life, people, places, holding on to stuff.
Hmm.
And so all of that now, that I feel I'm free from, it feels good because
Definitely.
I feel like I'm in a place where I really know who I am.
Hmm.
And I put the tattoo on my foot unapologetically Tammy Marie, and
Yes.
that's my hashtag. That is who I am. You don't have to like me because I know I'm a good person. I'm a good woman. I'm a good mother. I'm a good friend. So if I'm doing those things right, I don't care what the world or
You
anybody
don't care.
else thinks about
Yeah,
me.
and see that's one of the things that protects your peace, knowing that I am a good person,
Hmm.
so I'm not gonna let you intrude on this peace and try to make me feel like I'm not doing something that I'm supposed to be doing. Like,
By
I'm
your
good
standards, by
by
your
your
convenience,
standard.
and I don't have, that's we just said something about that. People thinking that and this is going outside of it, and I apologize, but people thinking that friendship means I have to be around you 24/7
No.
or I'm not your friend. Friendship means respecting boundaries. Friendship means when you throw that bat signal up, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm going to be there. And I make it my business to be there. friendship means that I watch you flourish and I watch you heal, and that makes me feel good and it
Right.
pushes me to want to heal me because I don't do toxic friendships.
Right.
And if we have an issue or concern, I'll put my big girls on. You tell me, Tammy, you said this wrong, you did this wrong, and I fix that shit before I let it destroy what we have. And understanding it's not always going to be good. We make mistakes.
We do.
We make mistakes, but if I value you as my friend and my friend of my heart and my sister, then I'm going to do whatever I need to do to heal that, to fix that, so that I can, number one, keep your respect for me as a person and keep my bond intact.
Right.
Because if nothing else, to have a friend, and it just blows my mind because on everything, and I hate to say that, but on everything, every single time that I have been dealing with life, out of the blue, this lady texts or sends me something, and I'm like, how does she know? I haven't said a word to her. I haven't talked to her in a couple months, but she sent something, and then I tell her, how did you know I'm going through? That to me is friendship. That to me is a bond that can't be replicated. You can't fake that.
You
So
can't fake it.
that's what I value in my life at this big old age, and what I want until God says, you know what, I'm ready for you to sparkle up here. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Sparkling.
No, no. He said that. He said, I want you to
We got
spread
things to
glitter.
do.
Yeah, you got things to
We
do.
got things to do. So what else we got? Do we
Let's
have
see.
something closing?
Closing. Let's see. Closing. Actually, we did everything. We'll close out with this. What is one thing you used to feel guilty for needing?
For needing.
Hmm.
I used to kind of feel guilty for needing somebody to do things with me. Now I don't. Like I'll tell my mom like I'm going to an event or I'm doing and she's like, with who? With me.
Hmm.
I'm a vibe all by myself, lady.
Yeah.
And so I used to feel like I couldn't do anything unless I had somebody to do it with. If I wanted to go to the movies, I kind of felt weirded out. If I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. Now I'm gonna do it by myself. What about you?
Um.
You said it. We talked about it. What did you say?
I don't remember. See what happened when you get this big age? But I would be the same, feeling like I need someone to do things with me. And I put my big girls on and I took a trip. I went on a cruise by myself.
Yeah.
And I was petrified because I was like, Lord, I drove to New Orleans by myself. I'm on the ship. You hear the horror stories. But I met a lady on the ship and we did breakfast and lunch together. And we didn't go, if we went anywhere in the evening, we made sure the other one knew where they were. And I enjoyed it. And I was okay being by myself. I was okay walking around Mexico by myself. And so I've
Those
learned,
things you do
and
by
yeah,
yourself is awakening.
I
Like
used to
it
feel
teaches you
guilty,
you don't
but
need
like,
nobody.
but I feel good now. I
I
feel
think
good.
my awakening
Is this trying to close this shit now?
we tore up the microphone.
Did we?
I think so. We'll just sit like this. This is gonna be so funny when I edit it. Leave all the bloopers.
You gonna leave? You leave the bloopers
The
in
microphone broke and everything.
oh Lord, the microphone is shot.
Anyway, we're gonna close this out. This was fun though.
Yes, it was.
This was Crew Confessions with April Nasheed and Tammy Marie. Very impromptu, so don't judge.
Our next one will be better.
The next one we'll
Our
have
equipment will be as it should be.
we'll have a whole setup.
Right now we're bootleg. Got to start somewhere.
We got microphones though. We got a piece of a ring light.
I ordered my whole podcast kit. Matter of fact, my ring light came today.
This came from the TikTok shop, and it keeps falling.
Oops.
Anyway, I want to thank Tammy.
Thank you
For friendship.
Yes.
Number one. For fellowship. And for being on my bootleg podcast.
Of course, one of many to come.
So we'll see you soon in a different setup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just two girls on a bootleg.
We're just two little ladies. All right. Have a good one.